Chamge jitap kalenjin itagateng logo gabe met chebo Kass TV gigurena Jacqueline Aruse gitaone logo jotso kole teseta ngingoni gogo ito ngalaleni cabinet secretary neba kimnatoshe kopiyo wandai kotinge ak aliet nilil anan new review neba electric tariff ngegustigo.
Any tariff adjustment can be considered or approved. And now, following the withdrawal of the application, the current retail electricity tariffs shall remain in force and unchanged unless otherwise lawfully reviewed in accordance with the Energy Act and applicable procedures. The withdrawal of the application does not in any way affect the continued delivery of electricity services. Consumers and businesses, wherever they are, should continue to enjoy uninterrupted access to electricity under the current tariff structure. The Ministry appreciates in a big way the views, feedback, and participation of consumers, industry players, and members of the public throughout this process. Now, Kenyans will continue to receive timely updates on any policy or regulatory developments affecting the energy sector generally. So that's the end of our statement. I mentioned it will be short and clear. Asanteni sana. Asanteni sana. I'll only take two. And I've seen you and you. Yes. Second question. You know, if you listen to my statement carefully, first of all, the first question will be answered by Engineer Sengo or Engineer Okech. But if you listened to my statement carefully, I did indicate that the application for review has since been withdrawn. That therefore means that any scheduled engagements with the public are going to be suspended. Perfect. Engineer Sengo? On the issue of the...
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Waziri. Thank you, Waziri. On the issue of the fuel energy charge, as has been the case each month, as published by our regulator, EPRA, we work together and they give us those impacts and computations, which we then include, because those are issues on the international market on pricing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's speculative.
I think...
That is going to be speculative. We leave it at that. Second question. John who? Okay. You know, I did say from the outset that this withdrawal decision has been arrived at after extensive consultations within government. So all that you are talking about has been taken care of, and the government, in its usual innovative ways, working closely with the sectors and the entities, is more than convinced that the current tariff structure is sustainable until a review is undertaken. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Asante. Until otherwise reviewed, and that will be communicated. It will be communicated. Thank you. Yes. Asante. Thank you so much.
Kagobar ngametab ke changindab kabati kobun counties chebo Nandi, Uasin Gishu ak Elgeyo Marakwet gaitita chakishekab National Cereals and Produce Board nemiten taonitab Eldoret komakchingei mbolea chebo top dressing chemwoe kole mitei rerunet eng inguni.
Tesetai koititoi chongindab kabatik kobun counties chotok chebo Nandi, Uasin Gishu ak Elgeyo Marakwet chokeshekab NCBB nemitei eng taonitab Eldoret komakchingei katoldoleiwek chotok chebo top dressing netoku komitei rerunet. Kong'ololjin sirikab logoiwek eng chokeshek chotok bo NCBB komwa kabatik chotok kobun ng'ololindenywa Kipkorir Arap Menjo kole kokotestai serikali kobun ministry notok nebo kabatisiet koib katoldoleiwek chotok chebo kolset nekata chotok chekitorete eng top dressing.
Ngoja wanakuja wanaambiwa ngoja na huko kwa store wana offload mbolea OCP ya planting, na wakati huu ni msimu ya mambo ya top dressing inatakiwa, si planting. Wakati tulikuwa tunataka ya planting walikuwa na offload mingi ya top dressing. Sasa hii tunataka ya top dressing wanaleta mingi ya planting. Sasa hii hisabu ya hawa inaenda namna gani? Nani huyo anakosea hisabu rahisi namna hiyo? Kwa kujua tu wakati huu ni msimu wa kuweka top dressing unaleta ya upanzi. Ngawa mimi najua watu wengine wanahitaji ya ngano, lakini ngano siku hizi kiwango iko chini, si kiwango ambayo sasa wanaweza shindana ku offload mingi ya planting. Wahakikishe wamelete mingi ya
mwae icheket kole kokotiem koityi kebeberwek cheterter chemitei chokeshekwak kobate manyoru katoldoleiwek chotok.
Tena leo nilikuja last week yote sijapata, ndio hii tena nimekuja leo sijapata tena. Sasa nitapata siku gani? Na mvua karibu inyeshe sasa. Na mahindi karibu itoe kichwa.
Naenda kuambia hii serikali tumechoka kuomba, kama ambuleti mbolea kaa nayo, na kama hakuna subsidy Mr. President kaa nazo, si tutakuwa tunajitetea peke yetu. Maneno yenye unakuja kutuambia saa hii ati tunaletewa OCP, tunafanyia nini? Kama unataka wewe peleka.
Ombe rais, kwa heshima yako kwa usaidie wakulima kwa sababu wameumia. Tunaamka kuanzia saa 11 tufikanga hapa tuandikanga line. Halafu baada tukiandikiwa line tunapewanga kunia 3 kunia 2. Alafu tena tumekuwa tukizunguka tukitumia transport. Hakuna haja tuseme ya kwamba boso ni 2500 na ilhali tunatumia zaidi ya 2500. Tunakula lunch hapa Mr. President. Tunakunywa chai hapa Mr. President. Tunatumia transport hapa na tunatembea mara 3 ama 4 5 ama 6 hata tu.
Hakuna chochote, hakuna CN. Tumekuja kuanzia mwezi wa 4 na bado tunamimina, tunakuja na tunamalizia pesa yenye tungekuwa tunanunua nayo CN inaenda kwa transport. Na ndio hii mafuta imepanda bei. Mafuta iko juu. Saa hizi hata tukiweka mafuta hiyo pesa kidogo tunaweka mafuta, tutanunulia nini CN yenye tunahitaji saa hizi? Kwa hivyo Mr. President, pamoja na washirika wako, please tunakuambia asa governor, tunakuangalia governor. Wewe ukicheza round hii ni one term.
Tesetai kandoik chotok mitei eng kibagengeitab United Alternative Government Parliamentary Group kokoitoi ng'alalenwa kotinygei ak tetutik cheterter chetesetai eng emet. Ngekuschikong.
With apparent protection, coordination, or impunity. Such violations strike at the very heart of the constitutional democracy. A professional police service derives its legitimacy from impartiality, discipline, and fidelity of the law. When citizens lose confidence in the distinction between lawful policing and political intimidation, the rule of law itself is weakened. Kenya is a state party to the Rome Statute, and by virtue of Article 2.5 and 2.6 of the Constitution, the principles of international law form part of the law of Kenya. International law recognizes the grave dangers posed when organized violence against civilians is tolerated, encouraged, or carried out through irregular actors operating alongside state institutions. Your administration bears a constitutional duty to ensure that the National Police Service remains professional, independent, accountable, and entirely separate from any form of organized political violence. A mother in the market does not feed her children with propaganda. A border rider does not fuel his motorcycle with blame games. A graduate without work does not pay rent with slogans. A patient denied treatment does not survive on press statements.
Our fifth part will be led by the Honorable Clive Gisairo.
Thank you. UDA claims that you stabilized the economy. Stabilized for whom? Certainly not for the ordinary Kenyan struggling under debt, taxation, joblessness, and economic uncertainty. Kenyans do not eat statistics, they eat food. They judge leadership by the price of unga, fuel, rent, school fees, medicine, and electricity. On agriculture, UDA boasts about fertilizer, while many farmers continue to struggle with costly inputs, weak markets, inadequate extension services, and declining purchasing power. On coffee, your party conveniently overlooks reforms initiated before your administration, including the Cherry Revolving Fund, reforms at new KPCU, and measures aimed at strengthening direct sales mechanisms. On healthcare, your government dismantled NHIF and replaced it with a social health authority system. Whether intended as a reform or not, the implementation has generated confusion and uncertainty among patients, hospitals, and families trying to understand coverage, payment obligations, and accountability. Article 43 of the Constitution guarantees every Kenyan the right to the highest attainable standards of health. The right cannot be secured through confusion and public relations campaigns. On education, parents, teachers, and students continue to face uncertainty. CBC and CBET remain difficult for many families to navigate. Universities remain under pressure. Students continue to struggle with funding. Teachers remain overstretched. School fees continue to burden households. On affordable housing, Kenyans are not opposed to decent homes. What they reject is compulsory deductions, exaggerated claims, and insufficient transparency. If the program is succeeding, publish the full record: how much has been collected, how much has been spent, how many units have been completed, how many are occupied, who owns them, and how many verifiable jobs have been created. Article 201 of the Constitution requires openness, accountability, and prudent use of public money. Public funds are not campaign material. They are taxpayers' money. Mr. President, constitutional government is measured not merely by the policies it announces, but by its fidelity to the rule of law and its development track record. Increasingly, Kenyans are witnessing a troubling pattern in which court orders are treated as inconveniences rather than binding commands of the law. The recent controversy surrounding the proposed Ebola quarantine facility in Laikipia treats this concern. When the High Court issues orders halting implementation of the proposal, pending determination of the legal challenge before it, the issue ceased being a political debate and became a constitutional obligation. Court orders are not suggestions. They are binding directives issued in the name of the people of Kenya. A government committed to constitutionalism demonstrates respect for judicial authority even when it disagrees with the judicial decisions. Selective compliance with court orders undermines the rule of law, weakens public confidence in institutions, and encourages a culture of impunity that no democracy can afford. The Constitution establishes no office, including the presidency, above the law. Respect for judicial decisions is not a sign of weakness. It is one of the clearest demonstrations of constitutional leadership. On public debt, your administration cannot continue blaming borrowing while continuing to borrow. It cannot continue increasing taxes while claiming to protect hustlers. Leadership requires responsibility, not selective memory. On youth protests and public criticism, claims that young Kenyans are merely being incited underestimate an entire generation. Young people do not need politicians to tell them whether they are unemployed. They do not need opposition leaders to tell them whether food prices are high. They experience these realities every day.
Finally, we have the Deputy Minority Leader of the Senate, Senator for Kitui, Senator Enokio Wambua.
Article 33 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 protects freedom of expression. Article 37 protects the right to assemble, demonstrate, picket, and present petitions. Article 38 guarantees every citizen the right to make political choices, participate in political activities, and engage freely in the democratic process. Article 238 requires national security to be pursued in compliance with the law and with utmost respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms. These constitutional guarantees cannot coexist with intimidation, unlawful force, abductions, suppression of dissent, or the criminalization of legitimate political participation. A government confident in its record responds to criticism with answers. A government that responds primarily with insults, threats, arrests, or intimidation signals insecurity, not strength. Mr. President, Kenya needs a unifying leader at this moment in its history. It does not need new political enemies. It does not need fresh divisions. It does not need a return to the habits that are previously endangered national cohesion. The presidency must remain above factional warfare. It must speak for all Kenyans, including critics, opponents, dissenters, and those who did not vote for the government. That is the essence of constitutional leadership. The president is not elected to lead one side of the nation against another. A president is elected to lead the nation itself. The Constitution does not permit government by propaganda. It demands accountability. Chapter 6 does not permit arrogance in public office. It demands integrity. Article 129 reminds all who hold executive authority that such authority is derived from the people of Kenya and must be exercised for their benefit. Power belongs to the people. You are merely its temporary trustee. The Constitution demands government by law, not government by political convenience. It demands obedience to court orders, respect for constitutional freedoms, accountability in public office, and fidelity to democratic principles. No administration can credibly claim commitment to constitutional governance while simultaneously tolerating impunity, undermining judicial authority, permitting abductions, allowing public institutions to be drawn into partisan political warfare, or creating circumstances in which citizens struggle to distinguish between lawful policing and organized political intimidation. Kenya's democratic future depends upon strong institutions, respect for the Constitution, and unwavering commitment to the rule of law. These principles are not optional. They are constitutional obligations binding upon every holder of public office, including the president. Therefore, we tell you plainly, Mr. President, Stop hiding behind UDA officials. Stop outsourcing insults. Stop blaming retired leaders. Stop campaigning against the past. Start governing the present. Kenyans, Mr. President, did not elect you to write letters to Uhuru Kenyatta. They elected you to lower the cost of living, create jobs, support farmers, improve healthcare, strengthen education, protect constitutional freedoms, and restore hope. If your administration has performed, let the lives of Kenyans testify. If the economy has recovered, let households feel it. If jobs have been created, let young people find those jobs. If healthcare has improved, let patients experience it. If agriculture has been revived, let our farmers confirm it. If housing has succeeded, let completed and occupied homes speak. But do not ask suffering citizens to ignore their pain because UDA has written yet another political letter. Let us stop the pretense. Let us stop pretending William Samoei Ruto was not deputy president for 10 years. Let us stop pretending today's challenges were created entirely by retired leaders. Let us stop pretending propaganda can reduce the price of unga. Let us stop pretending slogans can lower electricity bills. Let us stop pretending blame games are leadership. The people of Kenya are awake, Mr. President. They can see, they can remember, they can compare. Today, William Samoei Ruto is president. UDA is the ruling party. Kenya Kwanza is the government. The responsibility is yours. No excuses, no scapegoats, no endless campaigns. Govern, Mr. President. I thank you.
That will be the end of our statement.
Kakonyor keljin nebo tuguk chebo boisiet kobun kibagengeit nebo National Fund for the Disabled of Kenya biik chebune kewelutik eng borwekwak eng takchinet nebo kotoret ichek kotoi boisiet chebendi kotoret ichek eng sobet nebo kila betut.
Ganyor keljin nebo tuguk chebo boisiet kobun kibagengeit nebo National Fund for the Disabled of Kenya biik chebune kewelinwek eng borwekwak eng takchin nebo kotoret ichek kotoi boisionik chebendi kotoreti ichek eng sobet nebo kila betut.
Yeah, the one which is happening today, remember this is a regional launch. We started with the regional launch in Nairobi. So we are launching at the regional level. So although it is based here in Nakuru, we are launching, our managers will now go to the other counties and sub-counties. But for here, what happened is we had small grants given to 24 institutions for persons with disabilities. Each was given 200,000 shillings. We call them the small grants for small projects. But last Friday, we advertised, as we do annually, for what we call the flagship project,
Toretonoton kokikochi en county nebo Nakuru koboto rabisiek ak tuguk alak chekiboisien en mungaret ak boisionik alak chekitokyin biik kobun Rift Valley ako ichek chekikoikoito somen.
For this area, we gave 21 toolkits to 21. This is only for people from Nakuru East, then Bahati and Nakuru West. Our people now will move on now from here to various parts of the region. That is the Rift Valley region. So this is the beginning. We are just launching.
Kamwa nebo ngecheret en kibagenge noton Professor Francis Kiberia kole kaimutiet neo nebune kibagenge noton ko rarunet nebo rabisiek chekitoreten bichoton bune kewelinwek ole kasom kibagengeisiek cheterter komongke ak kotoret biik chebune kewelinwek.
Appeal to those who hear. They can get information about us either in the chief's offices, in the offices for DCC and so forth. Even the social protection offices. That's what we do. And with God's grace, we want to expand, to give more, and so forth.
Ngalalet nekonyor kosubet kobun alak en membaek chebo board chebo kibagenge noton ak biik chebune kewelinwek chekacher alak en ichek komongke ak kosom toreten. Kongeten county nebo Nakuru, logoiwekab emet chebo Kass, kainenyun ko Sylvester Rono.
Kai tingapchi agenge en county nebo Nakuru ikangonyor ngatutiet kobun kapkirwok nebo Getyokyi icheket bortab chamanenywan nekikakotebi en kot neking'onoren muswek en kasartab kenyisiek 5 chekokosirto kosubkei ak bilitab sipitali nekitindoi familia inoto. Kosubkei ak familia inoto kokibun icheket ng'wonindo neo missing ak kaimutik chechang kong'eten kobet sobet chamanenywan Humphrey Kagera Mwai en kenyitab 2021. Aikoito somet icheket en biik chetinye maket nemi kokochi ichek toretet asikosoisirit chamanenywan en oret nebo tekisto.
My name is Stanley Kimaru Mushiri. I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I do represent the family of the deceased Humphrey Kagera Mwai. We did receive instructions from the family and also with the help of the Honorable Kimani Gunjiri in order to secure the corpse of the deceased. The deceased Humphrey Kagera Mwai passed on the 4th of September 2021 at Nakuru Nursing Home, and his corpse has been in custody of the Umash Funeral Home since the 6th of October 2021, total of 7 years. We received instructions from the family and as well as Honorable Gujiri in order to secure the subject corpse of the deceased, whom the family have been desperately trying to pay the outstanding hospital and the mortuary fees, but have not been able to do so.
So mzee alikuwa mgonjwa wa COVID, kwanza tulianzia St. Joseph. St. Joseph wakasema they don't have enough oxygen, so we had to transfer him to nursing home. Tukampeleka huko usiku na akaenda akashughulikiwa na tukaona hata ameanza kupata nafuu. Sasa kutoka hapo alikaa only for 4 weeks, ndio sasa tena akaaga. Wakati tuliambiwa sasa hata bili imekuwa juu sana, tukaambiwa ni 5.5 just for 4 weeks. So wakati tulienda huko tukamwambia juu sasa hatutaweza kulipa mochari ya Umash, wacha tumpeleke PGH. Wakasema juu tutapewa mwili kama hatujui, tutampeleka Umash. So hospitali ndio ilisuggest mwili kuje hapa. So tukaenda tukajaribu harambee, tukapata only 250. Hiyo tukawapelekea wakakataa. Wakasema hiyo haiwezi simamia tupewe mwili. So tukaendelea kushughulika, tukaenda kwa Susan Keheka, tukaenda kwa wengine, but it was all in vain.
Eunice Nyabura, bibi ya huyu marehemu Humphrey Kigera Moi. Na mimi sasa, mimi nashukuru mheshimiwa na wakili na yule Mutai kwa kusaidia hii maneno ya mzee yangu aende asiko kama wale watu wengine. Mimi nashukuru sana hata kwa Mungu na Mungu abariki hawa walifanya hii hii vitu yote ya kusaidia mzee yangu akuje asiko kama wale wengine. Sasa roho yangu itatulia kabisa kabisa kabisa, na itakuwa nikiendelea na kazi yangu mzuri nikiona mzee yangu amelala hapo. Lakini wakati huyu mwingine nilikuwa nasikiaga ati mtu anatolewa kwa wamasi. Mimi nikasikia baya, nikasema sasa huyu ametolewa na bwana yangu tu analala hapo.
Huyu mama ameenda sehemu nyingi sana akitafuta usaidizi kwa viongozi wengi, and nobody has helped. So I urge our leaders, have the ear to listen. Listen the poor person. You can do something even without spending money, but you can do something through the wisdom we have been given by God to be their leaders. So I urge, because it's not only this body, maybe there are so many bodies lying in the mortuaries, lying in the hospitals because of small bill. And I want to let them know the law of Kenya, you cannot retain dead body because of the bill. I want Kenyans to understand that. I want hospital to understand that. I want mortuary to understand that. The dead body has nothing. 7 years mwili iko hapa. Sasa ni faida gani ya miaka 7 wamepata?
Katseng logo Gabriel se kole chopchin ge timita Harambee Starlets urerieta 4 Nations League uletetat ko ureren ak timitab Zambia eng ureriet netai eng betutab komut kasi. Kosubka coach nebo Harambee Starlets Building Odemba kiboisie ureriet notok kochopchin ge ureriosiek kwak chemitetai.
Good job. Ni preparation poa kwanza kwa sisi madem, ni kitu poa. Tunahitaji tu hiyo support ndo pia tukue prepared kwa upcoming AFCON, ndo tuone tuko wapi kwa hizi friendlies mbili. Leo iko poa, tutapik kutoka pale tuliachia FIFA series, tukiendelea juu pia tutaki kuangusha watu tu coach. Juu wanajua pale walituachia na wanajua weakness yetu vile tulicheza FIFA series na strong point yetu, so ni kurudi kuangalia pale tulikosea na pale tulifanya poa kucorrect. Na aje wenye wanatusupport waendelee kutusupport na sisi pia tutawaangusha.
We are happy to have another chance, maybe the last chance for build up towards the AFCON. Going to play 2 friendly matches, one against Zambia according to the fixture, and then the second one we shall play either Lesotho or Zimbabwe. Exiting teams, especially Zambia, because we had requested to play against Zambia. So we are looking forward. We want to see where we are at the moment. We also want to see what we can do in the remaining few days and get ready for AFCON. Our aim still remains the same. We're going for AFCON qualifiers. Sorry, we're going for World Cup qualifiers, and we are hoping for the best.
Tetat koyak tabiri emetab Kenya nebo kotet World Masters Athletics Champions chebo kenyitab 2032. Kangong nito Gross Startup President nebo African Masters Athletics ole kamwa kole konyor chamchinet emoni koyak tabid.
Tumepewa nafasi ya kufanya bid, so tunaona World Athletics wametuletea World Championship 2029 na yetu tulikuwa tunatarajia 2030. So tutasonga mbele 2032, alafu tutajua ministry tunaenda kupanga Kenya, Ministry and Athletics Kenya tunaenda kupanga pamoja. Yes, tuko possibility, najua na imani ya kwamba watanipatia kwa sababu imekuwa tu South Africa wamefanya kitambo sana, lakini saa hii Kenya vile ni powerhouse, najua watatupatia kwa maana facilities, tumeimprove kwa facilities yetu na tunatarajia 110 countries, about 9,000 au 10,000 athletes to come and participate. Katika Afrika itakuwa Afrika wamehosti ya mara ya pili, na pia tumekuwa tukienda sana huko nje, na si tumesema pia hii kitu ikuje nyumbani, na mimi najua ikikuja nyumbani hapa Kenya itamina lot, unaona, kwa sababu saa hii tuko na almost 6 to 7,000 masters from 35 years and above. Huwa tukifanya kazi na pamoja as a team, tunajua tutafaulu. Kwa maana tukitengeneza LOC yetu ya Afrika, LOC yetu ya Kenya, Ministry and Athletics Kenya na county government, hiyo kitu ikiwa nzito, watu wakifanya kazi pamoja tutafaulu.
Chitap kalenjin kakituk chotok emetab logoiwek chok chebo emet kakimuch kebun kong'ete studio nebo Kass TV. Kongoi missing oboraindo nekaikonech iker logoiwekab emet. Kigurena Jacqueline Arusei ak amagun kit age tugul nemie.